Hello friends, this is Shanker once again. Today it is quite cold in India, and with this, the video I thought today I would make is about the second house. Now this is a very important house which is rarely discussed, and which is seen in a very in a very rudimentary way. But in my research and my analysis, the second house is the most important house. Why? The second house deals with your family, it deals with your finance, it deals with your value systems, it deals with your own value system, it's your own self-worth, your own self-esteem, which is very important in wellness. I mean, if we want to do astrology with wellness, then look at the second house and you can tell a lot about that person, that what is his self-esteem and what he should do to enhance it, because there is a fair amount of free will we have in astrology. I mean, when we do astrology or when whatever I learn in astrology, 40% is free will. So self-esteem is also, what is your self-esteem actually which you project? You may internally feel that you are a lion, but the external show that you are a lion is from the second house. So second house is also your self-esteem. It is also about your food habits. It's also about a lot of things to do with funds. What do you do with your money? So these are some aspects which are dealt with second house, and we rarely take second house into consideration. Second house, and the most important thing which I'd like to tell you is second house is all about your punya. What you have done in the past, the good deeds which could manifest in this life, is also done by the second house. Manifestation of your past deeds is by second house, and which is the most important thing. It is like from a sadhu to samadhi. If you that is what Osho said. The thing which is in between is all second house. Second house tells you what you will actually get, and what is the potential of the rainfall. Let me put it that way. What is the potential rainfall, positive rainfall or negative rainfall, which is going to happen in life with respect to aspects which I've already told you. So it's also important factor of your punya. It's also an important factor of prestige, because prestige is my research, my analysis is that if you have to become something in government or rise very high in politics, in bureaucracy, in business, you should have a good second house. I mean, your name should be taken with respect, with honor, and with something by which an everlasting fame could also happen, is also by second house. And the logic also one is 10th, from 10th house, which is prestige. It is second is 5th from that. Now, second house has also got an important role to play with the 8th house. Because the role which is the planet, which is the house which is opposite second house, is 8th house. So the planets in 8th house look at the planets in the second house. I mean, 8th house planets will have an impact on 8th house, on the second house. So whatever is the negative deeds or the dangers or the anxieties that are going to happen are also put into the second house through your 8th house. Now, 8th house has a connection with 6th house. 6th house is a patal lok, which is there. Now, why 8th and 6th are important, and why even 12th is important, I'll explain you that. 6th house is the 11th house from the 8th house. Now, this is an important aspect which I researched on and which I feel is very important. 6th house is 11th house from the 8th house. So, it is what you gain from the 8th house. 6th house, though, is a house of patal, is a house of something which we do. 6th house is a very, very important house. 6th house is an important house as far as your life things are concerned. It's about how you deal with enemies, how you deal with your day-to-day world, what do you do with your diseases, how do you deal with the debts, etc. And 8th house, it is 11th from the 8th house. So what is going to manifest of the 8th house is seen from the 6th house. Similarly, 12th house is 11th from the second house. Right? So 12th house manifests what you will get from the 12th house. So the negative impacts of 12th and 8th, that is negative or positive things, both 12th and 8th have a lot of positive things, are actually come into your second house. And 8th house is 11th from your 10th house. So the 11th house is the house of your gain. Nothing happens without the 11th house. They say in your horoscope, 11th house is extremely important. So why not when you deal with houses? Now, if you make second house your lagna, then I mean important house, then 12th house becomes the 11th house, and the house which aspects the second house is the 8th house, and the planets from the 8th house, the 11th house is the 6th house. So there is, the second house has the energies of 6th, 8th and 12th house. And therefore second house will give you both positive and negative results. But I emphasize that you should always see the planets which are there in 6th, 8th and 12th. The 12th house is a neutral house. The planets in 12th house help the planet in the second house. And similarly, the planets in the 6th house through the 8th house put the energies into the second house. This is the principle of Bhrigu Nadi, which have gone into depth. I mean, the 6th house through the 8th house put its energies into the second house. And then is the 11th house which stands in between. If there are a lot of negative things which are going to happen through the 8th house, and if there is a planet in the 11th house which is inimical to the planet in the 8th house, then it stops it. I mean, वो आपका दुश्मन है. 8th house में जो खड़ा हुआ दुश्मन है, तो अगर 11th house में अगर planet है वो 8th house का दुश्मन है, तो it will fight the 8th house. It will fight the negativities of 8th house. So this is in nutshell how I see second house, and that is how second house becomes very important. I hope I've been able to explain you in nutshell of the research and the importance of second house. Second house has all its energies which are there, the negative energies or the positive energies of 8th house. What can 6th house do? The 12th house helps the second house. And also, if there is a lot of negativity in 8th house, 8th house में बहुत negative planet बैठा है, और 11th house उसको दुश्मन बैठा, it stops it. It stops it to go to the second house. You have to see the chart as something like a circle. Planets do not stop, they move. They have a movement. And that movement of planets tell you what is your destiny in nutshell. 10th house for me is very important, is what you have bought with yourself. What you have bought with yourself. आप क्या लेके आए हैं अपने साथ, कितना लेके आए हैं, कितना पानी है पात्र में, that is by second house. You have to judge it from the second house. And what will be the final rainfall, that is आपको actually क्या मिलेगा, that is from the 4th house, which is 4th house. The planet which is 11th from the 4th house is second house. The planet, the 4th house is good because 10th is what you bought. क्या आप लेके आए हैं, आप 2 पैसे लेके आए अपने साथ, you bought 5 rupees with you, about 100 rupees with you, is from the 10th house. How will it come? Is through the 4th house. Now, which is the house which will actually make it happen is the second house. So ultimately, second house is the house which tells you what will be the rainfall in your life. It is जैसे बादल है, clouds, वो कितना पानी अपने अंदर लेके आए हैं, कितने घने हैं, कितने वीसे ना, the clouds are of no use, they'll just pass off. Means उन बादलों में पानी नहीं है, गिरेंगे नहीं. Sometimes the clouds are very dark, very this thing, a lot of waterfall is going to happen. That is that you have got a lot of punya and a lot of rainfall will happen. You will become better in life, you will prosper in life, etc., etc. That is seen from the 4th house again. The rainfall is there in the 4th house, finally. So this is what is the importance of second house which we miss. Now, what is second house? Which are the planets that are related to second house? When we talk about, this is what I've explained to you, the importance of second house and how the energies of the houses culminates in the second house, And second house is the most important house to see the rainfall. I mean, because what is going to happen finally is in the second house. Now, what are the planets which are very important in the second house? First is, of course, the Rashi. I mean, whatever the Rashi, the Lord of the Rashi. I mean, if it is Kark Lagna, if you're born in Cancer, then second house is owned by Leo, which is Sun. Now, the important house which governs the second house finally is Jupiter. By looking at Jupiter, you can see what is going to be second house. If Jupiter is in a friendly position, if it is not with an inimical planet, if it is not in an inimical house, Jupiter is well placed, it is good. Jupiter is not in 6th, 8th, 12th. Even if it is in 6th, 8th, 12th, in today's Kali Yuga, Jupiter has its own role to play. Jupiter in 8th house is not bad. Jupiter in 6th house is also not bad. Jupiter in 12th house is also not bad. But if Jupiter is in the right Rashis, in friendly signs, it is not aspected by inimical planets, I say Jupiter is good, and that is seen from an horoscope, not only from D1 but from a large number of other things. So you have to see Jupiter. That is the most important house for second house. If your Jupiter is good, 50% of your horoscope is good for life things. I mean, the way you live life. The second house, which is most important, is in the Kalpurush. The second house is owned by Venus. Now, Venus, we call it is the guru of the Daityas. Now, there is no Daityas and Devas. What is the difference between Daityas and Devas? Daityas said that we have to enjoy life. We have come here to enjoy life. We want to use all our senses and enjoy all the 7 rasas of life. It is something like each one has its own way of judging philosophy. It is something like Shiva and Vishnu. Vishnu says, I am detached from inside. From inside, nothing impacts me. I am detached, but I enjoy everything. I enjoy all the good rasas, the scent, the flowers, the enigma which a lady gives, etc., etc. The 7 rasas. It says, let me enjoy everything, but be detached from inside. So you see, Vishnu, which represents Jupiter, Guru, is always dressed very well. All the temples, they are they are dressed. Itar dala jata hai, phool dala jata hai. On the other hand, you have Shiva, which represents the Daityas. Shiva's philosophy is, I know everything. Why should I? I know what is the use of this enjoyment. It is actually null and void. Ultimately, it's all shunya. So why should I enjoy everything? That is what Shiva is all about. And therefore, you give me anything, I'll become happy. You give me grass, you give me ghee, you give me dhatura, you give me sharab, what you call wine, spirit, anything you give me, all is a part of this nature. It's all comes out of this nature. It's all related to each other. Give me anything, I'm happy, because I know the nutshell. I know what life is. So that is what Shiva is. And Daityas, therefore, are one group of people which are represented by Shukracharya, who says that, let's work towards enjoying life. There's always a tussle between Vishnu and, I'm going into philosophy, a tussle between Vishnu and the Daityas and Devas. I mean, they say that why the Devas should be holding the position, why not we? Why should we be working? We should be also enjoying life. We also want strength. We also want power. We also want, they perhaps are the tamasic forces who want to get into the Rajasic era, who are the tamas, the people who are working, the laborers who are working. They say that we are labor, we are working, we are, creating things. We also want to enjoy life. And we also will work towards enjoying life, So that is what the Venus represents. And today's Kali Yuga is all about Venus. Today's Kali Yuga is all about enjoying life, enjoying the good things of life, the wellness of life. We want to. The senses are important, and that is what Venus is all about. And the second house represents Venus. I'm sorry, I've got a little bit of philosophy into it, and I didn't complete the entire philosophy because that will need another video of 1.5 hours. So I just cut it short. But the second house also represents Venus, which is enjoyment. Enjoyment of everything. Venus also represents medicines. Venus also represents finance. Venus also represents your wife, relationship. Let's not say wife, it represents relationships. Venus also represents your partnerships. Venus also represents your medicines. So Venus represents a lot of things, which also Jupiter, there is an overlap, which also Jupiter represents. So both the planets, both Jupiter and Venus are gurus. It is only the second house which has got the Kartatva, or which has got the energies of both Jupiter and Venus, the only house. And then, which is the planet which gets exalted in your Kalpurush in the second house? Moon. Moon is the mother. Moon is like the planet which is again, Moon goes around all the 27 nakshatras, and it's got all facets of life, right from Rohini, which is all about abundance, Mrikshira, which is about the speed, Adra, which is again about transformation, so on and so forth. You can keep it. The moon represents everything in life. Moon is the nurturing part of it. Moon again has got everything to do with your previous karmas. I view that moon is the planet which has got the nichod of what is there good for you. It has got the total, जिसे कहते हैं कि एक पूरा निचोड़ है कि आपने पुरले जन्म में आपने क्या करा था, पिछले जन्म में जो भी करा, अच्छा करा हो या बुरा करा हो, इस जन्म में, in this birth, what are you going to get? Moon has got that rasa is in moon. And so moon is also the enjoyment, moon is the nurturer, moon is the planet which saves you from a lot of difficulties. Moon is also your emotions, moon is also your, the power to write, moon is your mother. Moon represents a lot of other things, which is Ma. And it always nurtures and nourishes. That is the first quality of moon. Even when moon is negative, it will not lose the quality of nurturing and nourishing. Only thing, the way it does it will change. So the second house, in its Kartatva, the planet which holds the Kartatva second house, which is very important, is Jupiter. The second house is Venus, and third is Moon. So look at these three planets if you have to see the second house. How is Jupiter placed? How is Venus placed? And how is Moon placed? Now, if these three planets are placed well in your horoscope, your second house is very powerful. Second thing, when you're doing predictions, apart from seeing the Rashi Lord of the Moon, you must see how the Rashi Lord is placed with respect to Jupiter, Venus and Moon. If suppose your Kark is your Rashi, Cancer is your Rashi, is your ascendant, and then your second house Lord becomes Sun. So you have to see how relationship with Sun and Jupiter, Sun and Venus, and Sun and Moon. The relationship between Sun and Jupiter, if it is 6, 8 and 12, there will be issues. Especially if it is 8th. That is a tough combination to handle. Now then when Sun, second house is an 8 to Jupiter, then things will become difficult with all aspects of life which have been described as with Jupiter, which I have already told you in the video. When similarly see Venus. Venus is all about relationship, your love life, how you enjoy the social media, how will you do in the society, how would you look in the society, what would you wear, your clothes, etc., is all by Venus. We know it. Especially, sex, marriage life, relationships, everything is all by Venus. What is your vitality, etc. If Sun and Venus are 6, 8 and 12 to each other, then these things would get affected. Because what is second house? Second house is aapke paas kya punji hai, right? So similarly, you have to see Moon, how Moon is placed with sun. Moon is what? Moon is liquid money. If you talk about finance, let us talk about one thing in these three things. Moon is liquid money. If moon and the Rashi Lord, or whatever sign it is not well placed, liquid money will be a problem. I'm only talking about finance at the moment. Venus, if it is not placed well, you will have problems with joint financing, mutual funds, etc. You won't do well. You will not do well in stocks also. So that happens if it is not placed well with Venus. If the Rashi Lord is not placed with Jupiter, then you will not have wisdom. Jupiter does not give you money, it is wisdom. It gives you intuition. कि यार ये करना चाहिए नहीं करना चाहिए. What should I do? I've read 5 books on all these things. Now what is the nutshell? The wisdom is Jupiter. So it will not give you the wisdom to do things with respect to finance, where it is not well placed, and that is 6th, 8th and 12th, especially 8th house. So this is one technique you should always see when you are analyzing the second house, irrespective. After that, you have to see, as we do in Vedic astrology, second house, where it is placed, which are the planets aspecting, etc., etc. I also give a lot of importance there's nothing as one system, you read a lot of things. Please give importance to the 5th and 9th aspects also. The planets, the 5th and 9th are very important in case of this thing. Even when you're looking at marriage, you have to look at second house, because that makes your family. In fact, I'll make a video sometime on second marriage, because there's a lot of question which keeps on coming to me about second marriages now. And I feel second house is the house for second marriage also, which tells you about second marriage, the way it has to be seen. So this is the importance of second house. I can go on and on for hours on second house, because this is the house which I give a lot of importance to in seeing a lot of things, and snapshot looking at the power of a horoscope, where it is placed and how it is placed. So apart from this, of course, you have to see n number of things, right from your kartattvas, the karaks, the birth yogi plan, duplicate yogi. I also look into the atma karak, amatya karak. I also look into the charts, as nakshatra lords. Snapshot of everything is important. You have to see a matrix of things to finally come to a conclusion. You cannot come just by looking at a lot of second house and come to a conclusion. You can't. And today's, as I told you, 6th, 8th, 12th houses are not bad houses. 6th, 8th and 12th. Placements of lords in 6th, 8th and 12th is not bad. When they're related to with respect to each other in the 8th, as I said, that if the lord of second house is mutually placed in the 8th house, it won't be good. That is a separate thing. Please don't mix up those two things. So that is not right, because that's the principle of negation which is there. Also, in predictive technique, predictive astrology, which is not related to this, as in mathematics, 2 negatives make a positive. Even in astrology, when you're looking at planets, house and lords, 2 negatives do make a positive. So that is also to be kept in mind. So this is my snapshot, a kind of a pointer to you on its second house, how to analyze it, the way to analyze it, and certain research work which I have done. And use all this to counsel a person so that he uses his energies in the right way. That is what an astrologer can basically do. There are other things which can be done, the remedies which are there, and they have all scientific logic behind it. They are not unscientific. But yes, they do not change your destiny. You are coming with a certain amount of water, which I explained to you, which is there. That water cannot be changed. Yes, you can channelize it in a better way. And there are a number of ways of doing it. There's the energy of sound, there's the energy of a relationship of man with birds and animals, with trees. So that all, we use it in remedies, and we do try to, do things. But that doesn't change your destiny. It just makes it easier for you. That's about all. That's my view, and that's my take in understanding astrology. And now I'm deviating from the second house thing. So this is my perspective on second house, a very, very important house, which has both Jupiter and Venus to as its Kartatu as well as in the Kalpurush as his Lord. And both Jupiter and Venus, as I tried to explain you, are the most important two planets which make and unmake your life. Without a very strong second house, nobody can rise. The second house is extremely important. If you don't know the horoscope from the ascendant, the time is not correct, please see it from your Chandra Rashi. If that is not there, please see it from the Jupiter. From Jupiter, the second house from Jupiter, and analyze it. You will get an idea of the horoscope and also give the right predictions also. So this is my take on second house. Please do use it. If you want to ask me anything, both consultation as well as a query, if you have, you can WhatsApp message to me, only a WhatsApp message on 98-187-33,000 or 98, I repeated, 98-187-3300. So WhatsApp a message there. I'll try to respond to your query or give consultation there if you desire. Also, please visit my site shankerstudy.com. I've also come out with a latest book on Rahu, which I call it as the planet of Yama. It is available with Prabhat Publications. It's a very important publisher, Prabhat Publications. It is there on Amazon also. If you have any problems, you can write to me. It's a very well-researched book, a different angle of how Rahu, it controls your early life and the various directions in the universe. It's a small book of 200-300 pages. Please do read it, but it's a well-researched book. It's only for those who know astrology in depth. With this, I sign off for today. Thanks for listening to the video to the end. Please do subscribe to my channel if you like this video. I want my subscription base to touch to 1 lakh. I am not in this whole thing for profession. It's a matter of research. It's a religion for me. And whatever I do as consultation, and as they always say in this science, never do anything free. There should be a Yajman who always pays to the person who tells you something. There has to be a transaction which is there, which closes it. So whatever is given to me is definitely used for charity, if anybody gives. Otherwise also, you can write to me and I will reply to your query. Thanks. Bye for now.